D.B. Cooper, the man who vanished from the sky. Imagine boarding a short flight the day before Thanksgiving, Portland to Seattle. A routine trip. Passengers settle into their seats. Businessmen open newspapers. Flight attendants prepare for another ordinary journey. Nothing seems unusual, but near the back of the aircraft sits a quiet man in a dark business suit. He is calm, polite, almost invisible, and within minutes, he will begin one of the most mysterious crimes in American history. The name he gives is not D.B. Cooper, it is Dan Cooper. But because of a mistake in early media reporting, the world will remember him by another name, D.B. Cooper. On a cold November night in 1971, he will step out of the back of a Boeing 727 with a parachute and $200,000 in ransom money. Then he will vanish into darkness. More than 50 years later, nobody knows for certain who he was. Nobody knows where he landed, and nobody knows whether he survived. This is the mystery of D.B. Cooper. The 24th of November 1971, Portland International Airport. A man walks up to the Northwest Orient Airlines counter. He buys a one-way ticket to Seattle. The price is about $20. He pays in cash. There are no full-body scanners, no strict ID checks, no atmosphere of modern airport security. This is air travel in 1971, a very different world. The man is described as middle-aged, well-dressed, and quiet. He wears a business suit, a white shirt, a black tie. He carries a briefcase. Nothing about him looks dangerous, and maybe that is why the plan works. Because ordinary-looking people are easy to ignore. Flight 305 prepares for departure. Cooper takes his seat near the back of the aircraft. That detail matters, because this aircraft is a Boeing 727. And at the rear of that plane is a feature that will become central to the entire mystery. A rear staircase. A staircase that can open from the back of the aircraft. A staircase Cooper appears to understand. Before takeoff, he orders a bourbon and soda. He smokes cigarettes. The scene feels casual, almost normal. But once the plane is in the air, everything changes. Cooper writes a note and hands it to a flight attendant. At first, she does not take it seriously. She assumes it may be a phone number or a passenger message. Then Cooper quietly tells her, "Miss, you better look at that note. I have a bomb." No shouting, no panic, no dramatic threat. Just one calm sentence. And with that sentence, Flight 305 becomes a hijacking. The flight attendant sits beside him. Cooper opens his briefcase. Inside, she sees what appears to be an explosive device. Red-colored sticks, wires, a battery. Whether the bomb is real has never been proven. But in that moment, nobody on the aircraft can afford to doubt him. Cooper gives his demands. $200,000, all in $20 bills, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. The cockpit is informed. Authorities are contacted. The FBI becomes involved while the aircraft is still in the air. But what stands out immediately is Cooper's behavior. He is not frantic. He is not reckless. He does not lose control. He is calm, polite, patient. He even pays for his drink. That detail has become one of the strangest parts of the story. A man threatening an aircraft, but still behaving like a respectful passenger. As the plane circles near Seattle, officials rush to gather the ransom money and parachutes. The serial numbers of the bills are recorded. The money is prepared. The parachutes are collected, and everyone waits. Inside the aircraft, the passengers still do not fully understand what is happening. Most of them believe there is only a delay. They do not know that a man sitting near the back of the plane has taken control of their flight. Then Flight 305 lands in Seattle. Cooper receives exactly what he demanded, the $200,000, the 4 parachutes, and in exchange, he releases the passengers. 36 people walk off the aircraft alive. Most hijackers would try to escape at this point. Cooper does not, because Seattle is not the end of his plan. It is the beginning of the second stage. He keeps several crew members on board. Then he orders the plane back into the air. The destination he gives is Mexico City, but the instructions he gives are unusual. The aircraft must fly low, around 10,000 feet. It must fly slowly. The wing flaps must be set. The landing gear is to remain down. These are not random demands. They suggest that Cooper has at least some understanding of aviation. He knows the Boeing 727 has rear stairs. He knows those stairs may be used in flight, and he seems to believe this aircraft can give him something no ordinary getaway car ever could: a way to disappear from the sky. Investigators would later ask the same questions again and again. Was Cooper a pilot, a military veteran, a parachutist, an airline worker, an aviation mechanic, or simply a man who had studied the aircraft carefully? There is no confirmed answer, only clues. And every clue leads into uncertainty. Evening falls. The weather is bad. It is dark, cold, rainy. The aircraft leaves Seattle. Below it are forests, rivers, mountains, and miles of dangerous terrain. Cooper is now alone in the cabin. The crew remains in the cockpit. At some point after takeoff, Cooper moves toward the rear of the plane. He lowers the rear staircase. The aircraft begins to react. The crew feels a change in pressure and movement. Then, shortly after 8 p.m., somewhere between Seattle and Reno, Nevada, Cooper is gone. He has jumped from the back of the aircraft with a parachute, with the ransom money, into the night. Nobody sees him land. Nobody finds him waiting on the ground. Nobody catches him. When the aircraft eventually lands in Reno, the rear stairs are still extended. Cooper is no longer on board. The money is gone. One parachute is gone. The briefcase is gone. And the man known as D.B. Cooper has vanished. The FBI gives the investigation a code name: NORJAM, Northwest Hijacking. It becomes one of the longest and most famous investigations in FBI history. Agents search possible landing zones. They interview witnesses. They examine the aircraft. They collect evidence. They follow leads across the country. Over time, more than 800 suspects are considered, but the mystery refuses to break. No confirmed body. No confirmed parachute. No confirmed landing site. No arrest. No conviction. Cooper leaves behind only a few physical clues: a black clip-on tie, a plane ticket, some witness descriptions, and the memory of a man calm enough to carry out the impossible. The tie becomes especially important later. Microscopic particles found on it lead some researchers to suggest Cooper may have had a connection to industrial work, manufacturing, aviation, or engineering. But this is not proof. It is only a clue. And like almost everything in the Cooper case, it creates more questions. Was he technically trained? Did he work around aircraft? Did he understand materials and machinery? Or did those particles come from somewhere completely unrelated? The evidence points in possible directions, but it does not identify the man. For years, the case produces no major breakthrough. Then, in 1980, almost 9 years after the hijacking, something strange happens. An 8-year-old boy named Brian Ingram is with his family near the Columbia River. He is digging in the sand. Then he finds decaying $20 bills, old, damaged, buried near the riverbank. The money is examined. The serial numbers match the ransom money given to D.B. Cooper. The amount recovered is $5,800. It is the first major physical evidence from the ransom ever found. But instead of solving the case, it deepens the mystery. How did the money get there? Did Cooper die in the jump? And did the money later wash downstream? Did he survive and lose part of the ransom? Was the cash buried intentionally? Nobody has ever proved the answer. The money should have solved the case. Instead, it became one of its strangest clues. Because if Cooper died, where was the body? If he survived, why was part of the ransom left behind? And if someone else placed it there, who? Over the years, many names have been linked to the D.B. Cooper mystery. Richard McCoy was one of the most discussed. He was a military veteran, an experienced parachutist, and in 1972, he carried out a skyjacking similar to Cooper's. But witness descriptions did not clearly match him, and investigators never proved he was the man on Flight 305. Kenneth Christensen was another suspect. He worked for Northwest Orient Airlines, had military parachute experience, and people close to him later raised suspicions. But there was no confirmed forensic match, no accepted confession, and no direct proof. Robert Rackstraw also became a controversial name. He had military experience, knew aircraft, and had parachuting knowledge. Some private investigators believed he was Cooper, but Rackstraw denied it, and the FBI never confirmed him. That is the problem with this case. Suspects exist, theories exist, patterns exist, but proof does not. The biggest question is not only who Cooper was, it is whether he survived. Many investigators believe survival was unlikely. Night, rain, cold air, strong wind, unknown terrain, and a heavy bag of cash. This was not a controlled jump, but others argue Cooper seemed prepared. He chose a Boeing 727. He demanded parachutes, and he stayed calm throughout the hijacking. Would a man this careful choose a jump he had no chance of surviving? Maybe he died in the wilderness. Maybe the river money was proof of a failed escape. Or maybe he survived, walked out of the forest, changed clothes, and lived under another name, watching the world search for a man they could never find.